Уважаемый господин министр, дорогие друзья, мы рады вас приветствовать в Москве.
Minister, dear friends, we are happy to welcome you to Moscow.
С удовольствием вспоминаю свой визит летом прошлого года в гостеприимную Уганду, полезные переговоры, встречу с президентом страны господином Мусевени.
It is with great pleasure that I think back to my visit to your wonderful country in summer 2022, where we had negotiations and a meeting with your president, Mr. Museveni.
Мы придаем приоритетное значение развитию нашего партнерства, которое насчитывает не один десяток лет. В прошлом году исполнилось 60 лет со дня установления дипломатических отношений.
We attach great importance to our partnership that has been going on for decades. Last year, we celebrated the 60th anniversary of our diplomatic relations.
Рассчитываем, что президент Мусевени примет участие во втором саммите Россия-Африка, который состоится в конце июля в Санкт-Петербурге, как он сделал это во время проведения первого саммита, когда посетил Сочи в осенью 2019 года, в том числе для переговоров с президентом Путиным.
We are hoping that President Museveni will participate in the second Russia-Africa summit that is due to take place in late July in St. Petersburg, just like he did during the first summit, which took place in Sochi in fall 2019, where he had an opportunity to hold talks with President Putin.
И думаю, сегодня у нас хорошая возможность в преддверии этого мероприятия обсудить все направления нашего сотрудничества, как в рамках двусторонней кооперации, так и на международной арене, включая региональные процессы на африканском континенте.
I believe that today's meeting will give us an opportunity to discuss certain things before this summit, including our bilateral relations as well as our international cooperation, including regional one, African one.
Еще раз добро пожаловать.
Welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the welcome remarks. And I would like to express my pleasure and happiness in being here. But before I say anything, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my colleagues with whom I have come here. On my immediate right is His Excellency Moses Kizige, our ambassador here in Moscow. And to his right is our staff in the embassy, Susan. On my left is my boss, Nelson Kasgaire. Kasgaire is my boss because he's my personal assistant, and he will tell me what I must do. And to his left is our deputy ambassador here in Moscow. Your Excellency, being in Moscow is of very significant emotional importance to me. Emotional because we have extremely cordial, strong, and historical relations between ourselves. That stretched back as far as October 1962. Your Excellency, since then, we've continued to discuss and sign agreements as memoranda in various areas of cooperation that have continued to further consolidate and strengthen the relations between ourselves. In addition, the exchange of visits at different levels have continued to contribute to boosting our relations. Your Excellency, you have just mentioned your visit to Kampala in July 2022, which enabled us to exchange views on issues of mutual interest and provided an opportunity to further deepen our commitments. I believe, Your Excellency, that the coming visit of President Museveni in July during the forthcoming Russia-Africa summit is instructive in our commitment to strengthen our ties with Russia and to take them further to higher levels. We would be very delighted at an opportune time in the very near future to receive Excellency President Putin in Kampala, and an opportunity like that will be provided. Your Excellency, Uganda and Russia have worked closely in the multilateral arena on regional and international issues. We are committed to the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in its entirety and achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And as we commence this decade of action and delivery of these development goals, we in Uganda have taken it further and put it as part of our own development agenda. In this respect, we are very committed to continue to strengthen both bilateral and multilateral cooperation on issues such as addressing terrorism, extremism, climate change, food security, refugees, and social development. Your Excellency, let me take this opportunity also to inform you that Uganda is an active member of the United Nations and its agencies, such as the Non-Aligned Movement, the G77 and China, and many other international organizations. Based on our good bilateral relations, Uganda will always endeavor to support Russia's position in these agencies. Uganda, like the rest of Africa, continue to pursue a comprehensive reform of the United Nations, and in particular, the United Nations Security Council. We believe that the United Nations Security Council should be more representative, should be more democratic, and its reform, in our view, therefore, should increase its membership to reflect a fair geographical representation as well as changes in its working methods and decision-making processes that will reflect the changing times. Uganda, as a member of the African Union Committee of 10, which was chosen by the African Union to pursue Uganda's desire for reform of the UN Security Council, we continue to support the African position, which we have developed since 2005 as the Ezulwini Consensus. In that consensus, we demand 2 permanent seats at the UN Security Council with veto powers, as well as 2 more additional seats of non-permanent members in order to address the historical justices that the continent of Africa was visited with. Uganda will assume the chairmanship of the Non-Aligned Movement next year in January, after hosting the Non-Aligned Summit in Kampala from 15th to 20th of January 2024. Your Excellency, as you know, the Non-Aligned Movement remains a vital pillar of support for developing countries' shared